What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back to my banner review series. In this series I tell you guys if it's worth summoning on a banner or not, and I also give you guys my raw opinion about these units, and I try not to sugarcoat anything as my opinion might influence some people's decision to summon on this banner. So today I'm going to be reviewing Celica's army banner. I've already done a review on Arm's army banners, so if you haven't checked out that video then I highly recommend you to do that as it will help you with your decision even more. Celica's army banner has got 3 units, Sonya, Saber and Leon. So let's begin with the best unit out of this banner, Sonya. She's a green mage and her attack is pretty nice, but her speed is unfortunately average and her resistance is highest for a green mage, and she shares the same resistance stat as Julia, and because of that she can be a great magic check and easily check units like Reinhardt, even if he's a plus attack Reinhardt with Death Blow and Horse Emblem buffs, and green mages like Nino, Julia and Soren with the skill Green Tomebreaker if she runs that. She comes with a legendary weapon, Dark Excalibur, which behaves like a Wood Owl plus sword and gives her plus 10 damage when she triggers a special. However, unlike Wood Owl plus sword, this weapon is not inheritable, so only Sonya can make use of this weapon. She also has Moonbow as her special, which is the best special for a weapon like Wood Owl Plus or Dark Excalibur due to its lower cooldown, and it definitely helps her do a lot more damage and finish off her targets. Her Slate skill is a new skill exclusive to her, and it's like Swift Sparrow or Sturdy Blow, but this one gives her plus 4 attack and plus 4 resistance if she initiates an attack on her enemy, which makes her even better in player phase versus other mages. Her Slotzy skill is Resistance Ploy, and it has got a huge range and can debuff many enemies on a map. It has got the same range as a Rook from Chess, and that is horizontal and vertical lines. Sonya's resistance is above average, so she will definitely utilize this skill really well. Sonya is often going to get compared to Julia, and here's a comparison between them. So Julia has got a little more bulk and a better nuking power, but Sonya possesses higher speed and Dark Excalibur. You'd say that Sonya's speed does not matter as it's not too high, but it actually does matter because she can outspeed other Green Tome units like Bunny Camilla and Julia, and she can actually kill Julia thanks to Dark Excalibur and higher speed regardless of who attacks who, as you can see. Opposing Julia can only survive if they run Fury, but Sonya can run Fury as well, and she can kill opposing Julias with that. And Sonya does lack the raw power which Julia has, but her Dark Excalibur and better speed make up for that. So in my opinion, Sonya is better than Julia. Not only that, Sonya is a bit more versatile as well compared to Julia. Julia can only run one kind of set, which is to check mages, but if you get Sonya that's plus speed, you can even run a full-on offensive set with Life and Death and Desperation, and that's something what Julia cannot do. So once again, it's my opinion, but I think that Sonya is the second best green mage in the game after Nino because of her being able to become a magic check with higher speed than Julia and somewhat similar bulk, while having the versatility. A lot of people dismiss her by looking at her average speed, but even with that, she's an excellent unit to have because of the reasons that I've mentioned before. And for skill inheritance, you have to run Green Tomebreaker of course if you want to be a magic check, and you can leave everything as it is and that can be your budget build. And like I've said before, a fully offensive set is also possible if you get a plus speed Sonya. So that's an option, and I do plan on making a full unit review on her as well, like Dalthea, which will go up next week. Overall, Sonya is a fantastic green unit who can work as a magic check and save you from the extremely common Reinhardt. So now let's move on to the next unit, Leon. Leon is a high tier unit due to having the second highest attack for an archer after Bright Cordelia. And Bright Cordelia is not available anymore, but Leon will be there forever. His defense is second highest for an archer after Gordon, but he's much better than Gordon due to having higher attack, higher speed, and a better weapon with higher might. His speed is average, but that does not really matter when he can run a Brave Bow Plus set and hit really hard. He comes with Slaying Bow Plus, which is a better version of Killer Bow with higher might, making Killer Bow outdated. His special is Igneous, which is a good special because of his high defense stat, and it becomes a 3-turn cooldown special with Slaying Bow Plus, and Leon can get 24 points of additional damage when he triggers this special, and that's a lot for a unit who can hit this hard because this special, and with his Brave Bow set, he can actually one round KO a Hector, and he's the only archer after Bright Cordelia who can achieve that. Obviously, you can take out Hector with any kind of red unit, and Leon does not need to do that. But I'm just using this example to show you how powerful he can be. His slot A skill is speed +3, which is not all that good when you can run more offensive skills for this slot, and guard 3 is a very situational skill, mainly there to make sure that your opponent does not activate Sacred Cowl or Aegis, but it's not needed for the most part, and it is pretty situational. For skill inheritance, you can run this build, and this build is his best build, which makes him a high tier archer. And if you get a plus speed Leon, then you can even run Desperation over Swordbreaker, and you'll be able to quad attack some units. Swordbreaker allows him to kill every single sword unit in the game except for Fury Drog and Fury Zephiel. Unlike other high tier archers, Leon can run an enemy phase skill set and also excel with that due to his nice defense stat. And here is that build. It's a quick and pulse set, and as you can see, it can give you good results if you invest in that. And if you do not have quick and pulse, then you can even run Bonfire and HP +3 Sacred Seal, but it won't be as good as this quick and pulse set. His Slain Bow Plus and quick and pulse do stack on each other and make a powerful special like Igneous into a 2-turn cooldown move, which is incredible. I would recommend you to not run Fire Speed Bow Plus on him unless he's a plus speed Leon. Other high tier archers with more speed can run it much better. Overall, Leon is a great high tier archer, but requires a lot of investment like any other top archer in the game, so summoning him is not enough, and you will have to sacrifice some 5-star units to make him work at his maximum potential for you. Now let's move on to the final unit from this banner, Saber. Saber is a decent red unit but lacks a bit of attack compared to the most top red units, and that's his main flaw. He has got everything else like speed and defense, and Grey from Arm's Army banner is a much better unit than him due to having similar stats but having more attack and a sword that is super effective on horse units. However, Saber is not bad by any means. He comes with Slaying Edge Plus, which is a better weapon compared to Killing Edge Plus with more might, and Aegis is a special to protect him from ranged attacks. But a unit like Saber has to focus more on his offense because he doesn't have anything planned after he tanks a ranged hit unless he's got distant counters, so a skill like Bonfire or any kind of other offensive skill is much better. HP +4 and Speed +2 is a slot A skill and it does what it says, but there are way better options for slot A which you can run over this skill. And so far, his default kit outside of his sword is pretty underwhelming, but his slot B skill Shield Pulse is an interesting skill and it's a new skill exclusive to him. Its in-game description might be a bit confusing, so I'll explain. This skill will only work with these defensive skills which get triggered when an enemy attacks you. People might think that giving this skill to Xander or Camus so that they can take magical attacks is better, but they will really suffer by missing out on Quick Riposte or Vantage. Only armored units with distant counter like Hector can run this skill and have great results, and have something like Sacred Cowl or Aegis with Quick and Pulse to reduce the magical damage that they take from their first range attack. And this skill will reduce the special trigger cooldown of the defensive skill by 2 at the start of each map, but it will only work once for the first range attack a unit takes, and this skill can only be inherited by melee range infantry units or armored units, so do not think about making an ultimate Reinhardt counter by giving this skill to your distant counter Titania, because that simply cannot happen. So this skill is quite situational. There are just so many more consistent slot B options than this skill, so you're much better running off those skills instead of Shield Pulse, and you will also have to run a defensive skill if you want to use the skill, so that's also another restriction that the skill has. So it's an interesting skill, but it's quite situational. Back to Saber, so that's his default kit, and for skill inheritance, Saber does really well with this set on your screen right now. You can even run Swift Sparrow as it will give him better results, but Fury is a budget option. Overall, Saber is a decent red unit, but his default kit is not the best compared to a unit like Sonya, but he can become a reliable unit if you invest in him. So now I will give you guys my final verdict on this banner. I give this banner a rating of 8 out of 10. This banner is good, but Arm's Army banner is better only by a little bit because that banner has got a monster named Dalthea, and she is a very unique and a very powerful unit. The best unit from this banner is Sonya, then Leon, and at last Saber. Saber isn't underwhelming as Matilda from Arm's army banner, but Sonya and Leon are simply much better units than him by a big margin. You should only summon from this banner if you lack a good green mage or a good magic check and a check 2 Reinhardt, who is super common in arena. So if you literally do not have a good green mage like Nino, Julia or Soren, then you can definitely try to get Sonya. So you could summon from this banner for Leon as well, but be sure that you have got the resources to build him for the sets that I've showed you before. A free-to-play Clarice can be a good alternative to him and run the same Brave Bow set, but obviously she's not going to be as good as Leon, but still a good free-to-play alternative. If you already have a good archer and a good green mage and a Reinhardt check, then just summon from the Arms army banner for Delphia. So that's gonna conclude my review of Celica's army banner. If you enjoyed, then please be sure to leave a like as it helps me a lot, and share this video with all your friends who are having trouble deciding on which banner they should summon on. So with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.